My name is Andrea. This is my son. He's 22 years old and autistic. He is nonverbal and will require help for the rest of his life. I call attention to the childhood vaccine schedule. Babies and children can receive anywhere from 50 to 70 plus shots before adulthood. In 1964, when I was born, there were 4 to 5 shots on the vaccine schedule. These manufacturers then were liable for their products. Not so anymore. In 1986, H.R. 5546, the National Children's Injury Act, was passed. This act removes liability from vaccine manufacturers in the event a shot causes injury or death. This is quite a unique mechanism for compensation. It should be noted the number of vaccines prior to H.R. 5546 passing in 1986 on the childhood schedule was under 10. Since the first claims were presented in 1988, the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, also known as VICP, heard over 26,000 petitions of vax injury. Over 10,000 were determined to be worthy of compensation. Total compensation from 1988 to January 2024 is approximately $5 billion in damages. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, which RFK Jr. now heads, hosts the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, conducts the medical reviews of claims, and makes the court-ordered compensation payments. U.S. Court of Federal Claims makes the final decision regarding compensation. But where does the money come from? A 75-cent excise tax is attached to every vaccine administered in this country, be it for babies, children, or adults. The tax is per dose. So example, if you get a single flu shot, the excise tax attached to that shot is 75 cents. If you get a triple antigen shot, like the MMR, the excise tax on that shot is $2.25 or 75 cents times 3. The Department of Treasury collects these excise taxes in a slush fund. When a payout is awarded, the money comes from the excise tax slush fund, thereby removing any liability from the vax manufacturer. They never feel it. Many of our elected leaders have accepted money from the pharmaceutical companies, some in the millions. They are meant to work for us and represent us, not Big Pharma and not Big Ag. Is it any wonder why they were screeching at RFK Jr. at the hearing? They demand we trust the science and trust vaccines. There can be no trust while this immunity deal is in place. I call on President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, Senator Rand Paul, podcaster Joe Rogan, Del Bigtree, and of course RFK Jr., head of HHS, to stand with me to abolish H.R. 5546. Make vaccine manufacturers liable again. I did not seek this path. This path found me. For over 20 years, I have been fighting this fight. First in Australia, where I used to live, and now here in New York. In 2010, I sued a Catholic high school over their vax requirements. That action invited death threats and slander in my life to me and to my kids. I would receive more death threats years later for uncovering fraud in the autism world. They were so serious then that they required police action and orders of protection. Since Albany, New York flipped to Democrat majority in 2018, all exemptions are now deemed null and void. In New York, California, Connecticut, and Maine, no one will be permitted a non-medical exemption for vaccines. They have your backs up against a wall now. Who am I? I'm just a mom. I went back to school and got a couple of degrees in science to better understand what was going on with my kid. This is common sense. This is not crazy. Stand with me. We are on the right side of history. They want to push vaccines on all of us and yet not be liable for their products. Stand by your products. Consider my plea. Together we can make America healthy again and
promote A
make America great again. Thank you.